Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey, and I'm kind of late tonight. This wasn't supposed to be a Monkey in the Morning. This was supposed to be just a random, hey, it's a Sunday. There's no stream because we're off on the game streams. And let's talk. And instead of doing that, I was playing a video game. And every time I would go to the next video that I was watching, because I was watching a series of drama videos, I'm like, I'll do it after this one. I'll do it after this one. And then I looked at the clock and I'm like, holy shit, it's 11. I should probably get this shit on the road. I was going to start it at 9. That was my plan much earlier in the day for those of you who watched the last show. And yeah, I was being kind of lazy, playing a video game. On the plus side, when this is over, hopefully my satellite internet will let me do a game stream, because I haven't got to do one of those in a couple of days. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. And plus, we get to go ahead and knock out a Monkey in the Morning. It's like my laziness is, well, let's be honest. It's just laziness that happened to turn out well for me. Yeah. I'm so sorry for anybody who was like, Monkey said he'd be here around 9. I do apologize. I know there were people looking forward to it. I got your messages. I wasn't ignoring you. I was just, I was being lazy. I was enjoying a video game. I like video games. And yeah, no other excuse. I don't really have anything to talk about. The end. Just kidding. I really don't. I don't have a subject in mind other than just some random thoughts. I saw a cartoon that AOC retweeted, and I have to we should bring this up. Which did I thought I'd saved that somewhere. Did I not? Oh, I must have closed it. Oh no, it's right here. There we are. I'm sometimes more what's the word I'm looking for here? Not productive. I can't remember. I'm more in tune with what I'm supposed to be doing. I need a producer. Fuck it. Anyway, so it's a young brownish colored woman sitting in front of a group of white men. It says, describe what you can bring to this country. And AOC said, oh, look, someone took a photo of what my life is like debating Republicans in committee each week. So in committee each week, she's sitting in front of a group of white Republicans who are interviewing her for a job, I guess. I honest to God, don't know what the fuck that's supposed to mean. I don't, other than her going, haha, they're all white men, which I guess is what she was trying to get at. But like, sweetie, you're not interviewing for a job. And 2, if you're alone, that's not the Republicans' fault. That would be either your fault or your Democratic colleagues who want nothing to do with you. Because you're kind of a... She's a wonderful woman. Wonderful woman who has no brain. I bring her up because... she's refusing to have in-person debates, you guys. She's refusing to have in-person debates with her Democratic primary challenger. And if you don't understand why that's funny, let me explain. AOC ran in 2018 mostly on the fact that Representative Crowley, I always forget his first name. I just remember his last name's Crowley. But Representative Crowley wouldn't debate her. He refused to come back to the district and debate her. He just wouldn't. And it's actually true. He wouldn't. He refused. At one point, he sent somebody else, a surrogate, to go debate her. Yeah, it was quite the event, or lack thereof. And now she's out there dodging those. She's dodging those debate requests. Aleister Crowley, I don't know what his first name was. No idea. Just Crowley. Jack Crowley, they're saying. All right. I don't know. Representative Crowley is good enough. He used to represent the district that she had, or that she's in. He was the number, was it 3, number 4 ranked Democrat. That's how long he'd been in Congress. And she knocked him out, largely because he refused to debate her. And now she's ducking debates from her challenger. Now, there was apparently an online debate where, I mean, I didn't watch it all, but the woman running against her, she's not the, how do I want to put, she has no charisma. She doesn't have AOC's giant teeth that feel like they're biting you as she talks. There's actually one point where AOC smiles and it's like, oh my God, half the screen is covered by those big front teeth. She's a donkey, y'all, an actual donkey. It's Joe Crowley. Okay. I have no idea what his name was. I just know his last name was Crowley and he was a representative, and that should be enough. Damn it. Thank you, Angry. Had less than 2 hours of sleep last night. Please put me to sleep like the good old days. I will do my best, Angry. I've actually had too much sleep, you guys. I went to sleep last night, woke up. Let's see, I went to sleep right after Lords of the Night on Saturday. I was in bed and asleep by about 11:30. I woke up at, I want to say it was 7:30. So I got a good 8 hours of sleep. And then by noon, I went back to sleep and Lady Monkey woke me up for dinner at 7. So I've had a ass ton of sleep in the last day and a half, and I'm still tired. Metal Minister, thank you. She's got the charisma of a Chipotle enema. If you're talking about whoever that is out there, she does not have any. Poor girl. And maybe an in-person debate would go better, but that online one did not. Gamer Valine, thank you. These are the ones me and Polly discussed. They make it harder for the rest of us that just want to work and go home. Who? Which ones? Now I'm confused. Who are we talking about? Stinging butt piss. There's something you don't. That's not a phrase you run into very often. Thank you for that one, Frank. The other thing I did have in mind to talk about, I do have a subject. Don't worry, guys. It's not anything deeply political or anything like that. It's just random monkey thoughts. But, okay, I have a couple more over here. I want to start with this one. It says, a 70-year-old man in Seattle survived the coronavirus, got applauded by staff when he left the hospital after 62 days, and then got a $1.1 million, 181-page hospital bill. I don't know if that's true. This is just a tweet. There's no link to it. I'm willing to believe it. But a woman underneath it said, send it to Trump. To which I simply asked, do you think Trump sets hospital prices? And she told me, I just didn't understand. I think you've missed the point. Too focused on getting an insult into the tweet. That's because I said, you're smart. And I could have got a lot more insulting. No, I totally get the point. I totally get the point. She just doesn't like Trump and she thinks it's funny. Aha, Trump is making everything so expensive at the hospital. And talk about making things expensive at a hospital. Check out your man, Obama. Gamer Valine, thank you. Women that cry at every slight. All right. Speaking of Obama, we talked about this morning on the last show about how Obama Appreciation Day. It was Obama Appreciation Day, you guys. And it was kind of trending over on the Twitter, but then Twitter actually highlighted it and said, people are expressing their appreciation for former President Obama. I mean, that's a very charitable way to look at it. It's a very charitable way to look at it. They're not actually doing that. They're using a black man as a tool, actually. They're using a black man as a way to beat down on a white man. They were just trying to piss off Trump because it was his birthday. It's President Trump's birthday for another half hour. And so like, let's all make it about Obama today. Ha ha ha. It wasn't about appreciating Trump, or I'm sorry, appreciating Obama. It was about pissing on Trump, which, I mean, you can put that in a headline. To annoy Trump, liberals decide to make it Obama Appreciation Day. There you go. Truthful. We could be so much better as a society if we just be truthful. Why is it so hard? It's okay to admit these people are being dickbags to the president. Hell, the people who work at Twitter probably appreciate it. They probably thought it was the funniest thing ever. Ha ha. Obama Appreciation Day. Ha ha. Hi, Jack. How are you?
Not bad. How you doing?
I'm okay. I'm a little annoyed, but not too terribly so.
What's going on?
I'm just looking at Twitter.
Oh, yeah, that's always a mistake.
Just looking at how Twitter decided to frame those children who are like, let's make Trump's birthday about Obama. And they actually framed it. People are expressing their appreciation for former President Barack Obama.
Also, I've seen some really shitty memes.
There's some really bad ones. Toxic Nightshade, thank you. Shh, hubby's sleeping. Just let this happen. LOL. That's kind of sexy. Thank you. I like that one. No, it wasn't anything funny or anything. It was mostly just, haha, let's make this about Obama. And it did occur to me, Jack, that if you look at how Obama actually ran things, especially compared to how Trump runs things, I think they actually don't like Trump because he's not more like a dictator.
That's a possibility. Some of these people are very authoritarian.
Obama liked to do things like use executive orders to, I don't know, let illegals stay in the country. And then the one, do you remember when he tried to let their family stay? Now, Obama claimed that he had the authority for DACA. But then when he tried to expand that near the end of his presidency, what was that, in 2014, I want to say? And that he expanded it for their family. That was the one that went to the Supreme Court. No, you can't do that. This was something that he'd been telling his own supporters for years. What was it that they counted? Like 35 times that he actually said, I do not have the power to do this. And then one day he's like, oh, no, I have that power.
Yeah, he has that power because they allowed him to have that power.
Well, DACA was allowed to stay. The other one was not, because the Congress are like, no, you don't have that power. And they challenged it in court and it got shot down. But if you look at things like the way the ACA was written, Obamacare, it was written so that the federal government, that the executive branch, doesn't really have to check in with Congress to change all kinds of things with it.
Yeah. Well, it's about power and control.
It is, yeah.
They really, I think, thought that after Obama, a Democrat would never lose again. That seemed to be the mentality they were operating with.
Well, that seems to be, at least in my lifetime, what people think is, and not just for Democrats, but going back to the Reagan-Bush years, it'll never be another Democrat. Yeah. Then in comes Clinton. It'll never be a Republican. In comes Bush. Yeah, so these people need to realize that it goes back and forth pretty often. One of the great things about our system is whether you like Republicans or Democrats or hate them both, neither one of them has power for very, very long if you look at it. In my lifetime, the longest any presidency has been held by one party was 12 years, and that was the Reagan-Bush years. That's not that long, really. The last thing I want to talk about over on the Twitter machine, unless you have stuff, Jack, and by all means, bring it up. But Green Party's trending, Jack. And it's trending. because somebody said, if you vote for the Green Party, you're voting for Trump. Now, I understand what they're saying. You're taking a vote away from Biden, which is what you should say if that's what you mean. But you're voting for Trump. No, it's not. And there's a argument going on over there. Argument going on over whether or not that's true. And it comes up every fucking 4 years. Who are you voting for? Jack, when Obama and who did he run against last? Was that Romney? Who? I know he ran against Romney and McCain. Which one was second? I can't remember. In 2012, I'm working at Walmart, and there's this guy who had to come in and do price audits for us. And when he was in the store, somebody from management or quasi-management, which I was, had to walk with him. And on this day, I had to walk with him. And he asked me who I was voting for. And I said, my best friend. And he went, what? So I'm voting for my best friend. And he goes, oh, that's a vote for Obama. Like, no, it's not. My best friend's not Obama. And that was, he tried for the whole hour and a half we were together to convince me that I was wasting my vote, Jack. I'm like, one, it's my vote.
Yeah.
Two, Michigan at the time, there was no way. I mean, it was going blue. So even if you thought that I was wasting my vote, my one little vote wasn't going to matter. And three, go fuck yourself. Because an Obama supporter would tell me that it was a vote for the other person. It's a wasted vote. I should vote for their. If I don't vote for your candidate, it's not necessarily voting for the other person. Unless, Jack, I actually voted for the other fucking person.
Yeah, that's how that works.
I'm tired of those people who think like that. That's not how the world works. The world doesn't work.
That's a hate fact.
This with us or against us thing is not exactly how it works. Now, I will tell you, yeah, that does mean I'm against both of them. But don't tell me that means I'm for one of them. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it's just tribalism. People get in their camps and they don't want to see another option. And I understand it, but I think it's kind of dumb. You have to listen to people that you disagree with because sometimes you're wrong. And it's hard to admit that sometimes, but sometimes your group may be wrong.
And just because I'm not in your group doesn't mean I'm in the group you hate.
Yeah, there's lots of other groups.
Mm-hmm. That's all I really had from the Twitter machine, Jack.
Well, I learned that SpongeBob is the gay now because Peterbilt told me that in chat. And I looked it up, and there's a rainbow SpongeBob out there. Well, thanks, Nickelodeon.
From what I know, he's not actually gay.
No, but it's Nickelodeon tweeted out this picture of SpongeBob all rainbowy. It's fucking dumb.
They did. They also tweeted out a couple of their other stars looking all rainbowy.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're all gay. But just him in a rainbow outfit is not necessarily gay. And it just looks like they put a rainbow kind of lighting on it.
I'm not saying he's a homosexual. I'm saying he's gay.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it is. That's gay. But it's not the good kind of gay, like two grown men who decide to go have sex on their own free will.
Yeah.
Which I support. Gay cartoons, I feel like that's, that actually gets into what I want to talk about in a little bit.
Oh.
But I see this thing you sent me, and I did watch this earlier today. I don't even know what to call these people.
I call them the Chode Rangers. So they look like what hipsters would dress up like Power Rangers.
You know what? That's fair. So Chode Rangers it is. Let's put this up on the screen for those of you who have not seen this yet. Yeah, I watched this earlier. I just shook my damn head. All right.
Oh, look at this. Oh, pardon me, folks. What is the characters?
Well, I go by Red Ranger. This is Spirit Fox, Tested Service. We're the Seattle superheroes. We patrol around, keep people safe, that kind of thing.
Hey, keep Seattle safe.
We love you back. You guys stay safe tonight, okay?
Yeah.
I like how he's got the peace sign on his shield and he's dressed in armor. That seems contradictory to me.
I love that he's Red Ranger.
Yeah. Oh, he should have been called Red Rocket.
Yeah.
That would have made me laugh because he looks like he used tampon because he's kind of fat and swollen.
Yeah, he's don't worry, guys, they're gonna be out there keeping Seattle safe.
Yeah. You're in hockey pads. Fucking idiots. Those three idiots look like people that I used to know from various comic shops over the years that would think they're tough and badass, but they're all doughy and soft and could kick their own ass.
Eric, thank you so much. Pink Ranger for the win. Yeah, they were missing the pink one in there.
Well, they don't have any female friends.
That's true. And this is not going to get them laid.
No, absolutely.
This is going to get them beat up.
Probably by the thug enforcers with the guns.
Somebody's going to take that shield and kick his ass with it. Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, look, they're out there keeping it safe. Since the police aren't doing it in that area, you need somebody patrolling the street.
But these guys, they're gonna die.
I support them and whatever stupid shit they do. I hope it ends up videotaped. There are videotapes of people who've dressed up as vigilantes and tried to go play Batman and gotten the shit kicked out of them. So
yeah, but if these idiots aren't wearing like GoPros or body cams of some kind, it's going to be such a miss. Like the opportunity for comedy gold and sadness at the same time will be lost. So, hey, more power to them in their quest for justice or whatever, but this is dumb.
I don't want them to be wearing the GoPro because then it'll be too obscured. We won't get to see it from their or get to see what happens to them.
I want it from every angle.
Fair enough. I want somebody up in a window going, what the fuck is these guys? Oh, shit. They're getting the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah, I want the surveillance footage from buildings. I want their body cams. I want the cams of the people following them, the cops crew that shows up.
If anybody's out there listening to us right now and they have a chance to film these guys when they eventually get the shit kicked out of them, make sure you turn your phone sideways. Landscape, people.
Yep.
I don't want this in profile. Landscape. I want to see the whole thing. They're gonna use that shield to kick the shit out of them, man.
Oh, absolutely.
What are they thinking?
They're not. They're the same thing these LARPers are thinking at the collective. They think they're doing something righteous. And, okay, real vigilantes don't dress like that. They do what's called the gray man, where they look like anybody else and they blend in. Then they go do whatever killing they need to do and disappear into the crowd. This is dumb. You read too many comics and watch too much Arrowverse shows on the CW.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the beginning of Dark Knight.
Yeah, exactly.
The beginning of Dark Knight, there's this guy who's dressed up as Batman. He's a fat fuck, too. And he's about to get killed.
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Right. What makes you different than us? I'm not wearing hockey pads. Yeah, plus I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah, I trained for years to be a ninja. You're just fat.
I mean, more power to him. And like I said, landscape.
Yeah.
That's really my message here, Jack. Landscape when they get the shit kicked out of them.
Well, to be fair, that's usually our message.
It is, yeah.
But at the same time... Oh, sorry.
YouTube, we are not encouraging violence. We just know it's going to happen, and we want to see it in landscape mode.
Yeah. We'd like to be able to report the news in landscape. But
yes,
this is also something I predicted a while ago, that vigilante groups are going to start forming. These retards are just the funny ones. Yes. There's going to be scary ones because nobody is doing anything about this weird crime that's going on between the rioting and this autonomous nonsense, people are going to get fed up. There's already been a wave of cops quitting, and I think you're going to see a lot more of them.
Yeah. Over on the Streamlabs, thank you, Mr. Scott, I believe is the name that I saw. Yes, Mr. Scott, thank you. He says, go Soy Rangers. Well, he said that. I sang it for him. I don't think that one guy, that's not soy. That's a lot of chocolate.
Yeah,
that's a lot of
carbs.
Gamer Vleen, thank you. Just saw Karen get tased. Those are my favorites. I like Karens when the best thing you can do to a Karen is tell her no.
Oh yeah.
When she's all mad and stuff, like, yeah, especially if you were the manager and she's throwing a fit, just be like, no. And then walk away, and they don't know what to do with themselves. They're just like, I'm gonna go home and tell my husband. You go tell him.
No, you're gonna go home and nag your husband.
Oh man, I feel bad for those guys married to Karens.
Yeah,
you know they're happy when they see those videos because they're like, at least it wasn't me. At least she was fucking with somebody else this time.
Yeah. But this should be like, take that down off the internet. I can't do that, honey. Yes, you can. Why don't you love me?
Jack, I want to get nostalgic tonight. A little bit. I was thinking before the show, like I really don't have a topic that I can take the show any kind of distance with. And like, what can I talk about? We've done nostalgia streams before. Let's do something like that. That's what my brain kicked in and said. I actually had a conversation with myself. I did. With back and forth conversation, because that's how I talk to myself. And a thought occurred to me, Jack.
That's unhealthy?
No. I stay away from that thought because I don't want to address. I don't want to face that thought.
The person I'm arguing with doesn't like that conversation.
Yeah, we don't have that conversation. And when I say we, I mean we. Anyhow, I was thinking, the world seemed like a better place when I was young, and I wonder how much of that is because I was young at the time. I do remember when Ronald Reagan got shot. I was the one who told my mother that Ronald Reagan got shot. She was coming back from the supermarket, and I told her the president had been shot. You know what my mother said to me? Good.
Wow. That's hard.
Yeah, that was her words. And I was like, okay. And I went back to play because I didn't talk politics with my parents. That wasn't something that came up. If I had a question, I would ask them and they'd answer, and then I'd go back to playing. So I wonder how much, as I look at the world, is it actually that much worse? And then I got this thought, Jack. Do kids today get that luxury? Do kids today get that luxury of, even if they do have some kind of notion of what's going on in the world, of going, well, fuck it, I'm going to go back and play G.I. Joe. Because we've seen kids at protests, kids pushed as political tools in videos online, and now kids actually at fucking riots. So I wonder, do you think maybe they get a childhood at all?
Not like we had, because they're so connected with the internet now. We're looking at a generation that's been raised online for the most part. And what do parents do? They give them a tablet or a computer or a phone and let them amuse themselves for a while. So they're immersed more into the culture than we were. It took a while for trends to catch on across the country when we were kids, because it had to spread organically. Now it's instantaneous. You know what people in Los Angeles are doing the second they post it. So I think that actually influences a lot, because you're seeing the culture spread more rapidly. Plus, there's a lot more infection of the lefty crap in schools now. So they're getting indoctrinated younger and younger.
Isn't that sad?
I think it's very sad, and it's incredibly dangerous. But the there's no opposing view. You've only got the leftist Marxists running things because they filter out people that disagree with them, and they don't give an unbiased perspective. They have everything very, very slanted. So if you can't speak out, then there's no opposition, so people are more likely to believe it. And if parents aren't involved, then the kids have no other sense of perspective. And I think it's incredibly dangerous, and it's very, very sad.
I mean, I was aware of politics, and especially by that age. I mean, I'm getting older, and I understand a little bit of it. But I was far more interested in going out and playing ball, or trying to let my girlfriend. I used air quotes because it was that elementary school girlfriend.
Yeah.
But I actually had one girlfriend I never spoke to. She sent me a note across the class asking me if I wanted to be her boyfriend, and I checked yes and sent it back. We were boyfriend and girlfriend for, I think, almost a month.
Oh.
And then she sent me one day telling me she wanted to break up, and I'm like, okay. And we broke up. That was the end of it. Times were so much simpler back then, Jack.
Yeah. Well, like I said, they're immersed more in it now. Kids don't play with toys very often. They play video games. And with video games even leaning more PC, look at The Last of Us 2 being just about lesbianism or whatever. That is being infected with social justice crap. All the media they consume has more of this like 1984 style influence.
No, Pete, she didn't touch my pee-pee. We never spoke or touched. She's the one I've told you guys about before. She broke up with me and she started going out with Jasper.
Son of a bitch, Jasper.
I don't like Jasper. He stole from me once. But he started walking like the cock of the walk because she started going out with him that day. And then the next day she came in with a rat tail. She had hair that went just past her shoulders, and she got it cut all the way up, and the rest was just hanging there as a rat tail. So
I maintain that that's a sign of mental illness, usually on their parents' problem. But when girls get really, really short hair, I don't trust that. Not the Karen cut either, shorter, like you see with the SJW types when they try and ugly themselves up.
Jasper stole my 3-colored pen.
Jasper's a piece of shit. You don't fuck with a 3-color pen or one of those marker ones that had like the glitter in it. Remember those?
Right, yeah. He stole my 3-colored pen, so I stole it back, and I stole. I think it was his protractor I took at the same time.
Oh, nice.
Fuck you. Well, he was a dick.
Well, yeah, you stole your 3-color pen. That's a douche move. That's a elementary school violation. Thank you, Shio. I told the genie I wanted to be hung like a horse. Next thing I knew, I was at a Spanish fiesta stuffed with candy. Thanks, Shio.
What a dick, and that bastard. Exactly. You don't take somebody's. The 3-colored pen is sacred in elementary school. It wasn't ours. I mean, that was like a. When you got that, it was like, oh. Especially when you're a poor kid, man.
Yeah.
We'd always got the pens that Dad brought home from work.
Yeah.
But yeah, he ended up. Jasper, I imagine, is living in a trailer somewhere with a woman raising somebody else's kids, and no teeth, and probably rickets. That's just, that's how it is. You never fuck with another man's woman, house, car, money, or 3-colored pen. Exactly. You don't fuck with a 3-colored pen. He's lucky I didn't beat the shit out of him for that one.
There were rules, man. Rules.
Yeah. Oh, man. What a dick.
Evolved Potato City had a 5-color one, and Mr. Scott City had an 8-colored one. I didn't know they were made more than 3 now, but apparently pens are more awesome now than when we were kids.
We just got Little Butt one that has, I can't remember if it's 5 or 8. Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty awesome, though. I mean, technology is an amazing thing. And those 3-color pens were the shit back then.
Opinionated Scotsman says 30 years plus or 30 years plus later, still not forgiven. Fuck no. You do not fuck with a 3-colored pen. I don't care about him taking Rat Tail Girl. We never. I actually always liked her best friend more. I did. I was just too shy to ever talk to any of them. But it was just cool. I had a girlfriend. We never spoke. I mean, literally never spoke. Even when you had to get in class groups, we never got in a group together. Never held hands, none of that. This was back in, it was 4th grade. I should have been more assertive in 4th grade, but I wasn't. I had a girlfriend at home too, and me and her, we used to smooch. Just little pecks though, like that. Do you guys remember calculator watches? They were the shit. They were cool, yeah.
Yeah, all the cool nerds had them. I never had one until I got one at a flea market in like middle school, but I never wore it.
My older brother got one. I never had one.
I knew a kid that had one, and I was jealous because he was a real dick about it. Like, look what I got.
Was this a girlfriend or a stalking victim? Oh, no, she was a girlfriend. We've actually spoke to each other. I was going to say recently, but it's been a couple of years on Facebook. Because her sister and my brother, they were actually an item as well. And Hurricane Gloria, we're supposed to be packing up everything to go up into the mountains because this fucking hurricane's coming, right? And it's the first one that we've been in when we lived in Virginia. And so we're packing everything up. And I look up in the window and I see my brother fucking her sister. I'm like, oh, God. Like, dude, you are going to get busted. Stop it. At least don't do it in the window. My brother was a whore. He was. That dude was a whore. I loved him, but if he hadn't have done himself in, herpes was sure to get him eventually. But yeah, so I've kept in touch with her because she was one of my brother's girlfriends for a long time. Because every so often he'd come back and just bang her again. And then she turned very religious, and she has a family. I'm like, bitch, I know the shit you've done. I've heard the details.
Well, she took it personally when they said, you need Jesus.
Yeah, she found him. And she did need him because she was on the VD Express, man. But yeah, so I've kept in touch with them throughout the years, so I still know her.
Nice.
She's probably what ruined blondes for me. My whole life I've had a very idealized version of her in my head. She was my first girlfriend.
There's a woman like that in every guy's life, every straight guy's life, and it's called the Lex Luthor. I may have developed this theory over time, but bear with me.
Interesting. Go ahead.
Women are kind of our arch nemesis because they're our opposites.
Indeed.
And when you find one that really fits, like you're very either similar or opposite, whichever you generally prefer, but you end up having them as sort of an arch nemesis. You have this frenemies sort of thing going on where you know each other very well, but it just for some reason never worked out, and they become this idealized, like almost supervillain level of opponent in your head, and you compare every other woman to it. You all know Lex Luthor's name, but how many of you know Metalo or Brainiac or some of the other more minor people, Mr. Mixelplick? You know, you're like, yeah, I've heard of them, but they're not Lex Luthor. Think about it.
I'm kind of jealous of Monkey's childhood. You know, until 14, I had a great childhood. I really did. My mom spoiled the shit out of us as best she could. I mean, and as a poor family, that's hard to do. But she told me one time, well, she didn't tell me. She was telling somebody and I was listening. I was supposed to be asleep. But she told us that when things go bad, she liked to spend money on us, on her 3 boys, because seeing us happy made her happy. So, yeah, we were a little bit spoiled, as best we could be. But yeah, with her, I was just too shy at that time, Jack. I didn't come out of my shell until my 14th year. With mom and my brother dying, especially my brother dying because he was 17. And I decided I did not want to live the rest of my life without living, because you can die at any moment. I mean, granted, he took his own, but you can die at any moment. I was like, fuck that. I ain't doing this shit no more. I am just going to be me. And if people don't like it, fuck them. And that's really easy to do, Jack, especially if you're funny, which I am, and if you're big and intimidating, which I am. So it worked out well for me. Unfortunately, by then we'd moved and things had changed. So I never had a chance with her, which is okay because I ended up with the woman I should be with. My wife is Lex Luthor for me in that sense because no one would be able to put up with me like she does and take care of me, says Angry. Oh, believe me, I know that idea. Lady Monkey, for anybody out there who idolizes me in the, oh, he's such a great, romantic, wonderful man. Also remember, anything annoying that I do on this show, that's really my personality, and I'm likely to do that in real life just for the fun of it.
No, I'm way more annoying in real life.
If it amuses me, I will be annoying. And yeah, Lady Monkey puts up with a lot of shit too.
That's why I'm single.
In 2012, me and my brothers were adopted. Oh, damn. I hope you had good adopted parents.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keeper Dam says, I'm jealous of 99% of everyone else. I try not to be jealous of people.
Don't be jealous of other people because they're usually annoying when you get to know them more. So anything you're jealous of about somebody else, trust me, they have a flaw that makes up for it.
Yeah, the only way I'm jealous of people is success. And if I'm jealous of somebody's success, I go after it. Not to ruin their success, but to get my own, you know. It's like, oh, they're really successful. I'd like to have that myself, so I go get it. Unfortunately, I'm also lazy, Jack, so most of the time I'm like, I don't care. Being lazy doesn't, it has its advantages. I sleep a lot.
That's true.
I thought you were single because of the restraining order.
No judge can stop my love. That's a joke.
Yeah. So he says, you're all accessories now.
I'm too lazy to stalk people. Oh my God. I've seen that kind of work those guys do. Fuck that. There's plenty of women out there.
I've known one dude who was stalkerish. And yeah, I had to tell him, like, you need to stop that. And he eventually found another woman and left the one he was stalking alone. He used to drive past her house. Like multiple times.
That's kind of weird. Unless it's on your way to work, don't do that.
And instead of just going and talking to her, he'd never really talked to her. He just was infatuated.
That would ruin the fantasy.
I'm like, you're going to end up as a TV movie.
Right.
You need to stop this shit.
She's going to beat you to death with the fireplace poker, and she'll get a TV deal out of it.
Yeah. No, I'm glad for the childhood I had and that we were allowed to have back then, because that I remember nobody's parents were preaching politics to them. And for all those times we see my 4-year-old said blah, 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 and we're all like, no, they didn't. It is possible when they start getting to the 7-year-old range, because they just repeat what they hear at that age.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you talking to your kid about Donald Trump? Why?
Munchausen by proxy, dude. They want to spread their mental illness to the kids.
Well, you know what else I wonder, Jack? I wonder if it's because so many people look at their children as friends instead of children.
That's a big problem too. Yeah.
Because I was not my parents' friend. I was their son.
Yeah.
I was there for them to feed and clothe and make sure I went to school and make sure I was safe. and go the fuck away and play so they could have adult conversations.
Yeah, you can't be friends with your kids till they're 30 and don't live with you anymore, and they have jobs. When they're not freeloading off you, maybe then you can be friends with your kids. Beyond that, no fucking way. That's not your role. Your role is to be their mentor and advisor and not their friend. You discipline them, you feed them, clothe them, give them a little bit of affection or love or whatever. Don't smother them and help them to be functional members of society.
But now it's like, this is my buddy. I'm going to talk to him about George Floyd. Why? I remember back with Bill Clinton, all of the fucking people I had to see on. Now I have to tell my child about penises. I'm like, okay, why is your child watching the nightly news?
Oh, why are you making your kid watch the news? It's weird.
And you don't have to talk to him about penises. You can say, you're too young for that. We'll talk about it when you get older.
Yeah.
Now I just have to talk to him about dick. No, you can choose other things to talk to him about.
I know it's shocking. Look, I don't have kids for good reason, apparently. But I don't. I've worked with a lot of parents and kids over the years, and don't try and indoctrinate your children. Like, you guide them, let them make their own decisions, help them, make rational, good, informed decisions, but don't brainwash your kids. It's weird. Let children be children.
I don't think they feel like they are brainwashing them. I agree with you with what you're saying, but it comes down to this. These are this is my friend. I've seen so many people that want to be their kid's friend and say it. They're not just by looking at them, but they're my friend. Like, no.
Well,
no.
They treat the kids like they're little adults, not educating them in an age-appropriate way. They're telling them things that they are vastly not ready for, and taking them like badges of honor to these the library things with the transsexuals.
Oh, yeah.
That's very inappropriate for little kids. Your kid doesn't need to know anything about sex until they're like 10 or 11. You just give them like some overview thing. Like, yeah, that's a penis. Stop touching it.
You're right. Put that away. Do that in the bathroom. That kind of thing. The trans thing, because somebody in chat just said it. I think it's the same reason that non-binaries have trans or non-binary kids. Projection.
Yeah,
I think you're right. I think it's pushed on them. And when it comes to sexuality, I don't know how you feel about it, Jack. This is how I feel about it. Sometime around puberty, you should have some kind of talk with your children.
Yeah.
But before then, leave them alone. Let them figure out what they're going to figure out. And there's kids who get pregnant at 10. Maybe you should watch that kid a little better. Yeah. But otherwise, you let them fiddle and fondle and play doctor. And if you catch them playing doctor, you tell them to stop. But you let the kids learn themselves without adult interference, because with adult interference, it just gets creepy.
There are ways to talk to kids on an age-appropriate level, like, mommy's pregnant with another child. Why did you get fat? Oh, there's a baby in my belly. Oh, okay. Most kids aren't that interested. They just want a surface level answer.
Well, there's that old joke. Little Jenny goes and asks her dad, "Dad, where do babies come from?" He's like, "Oh God." And I think in the joke, she's like 7. Little 7-year-old Jenny asks her dad where babies come from. Dad sits her down and just gives her this whole long list of where babies come, daddy and mommy, and penis and vagina. And she's sitting there just wide-eyed. And at the end of it, he goes, "Why do you ask?" And she goes, "Well, Timmy, who just moved in, is from Florida." Yeah, age appropriate. Miles, thank you. Hey, guys, did you hear SpongeBob SquarePants is now gay? Nickelodeon has confirmed for Pride Month. I didn't know they'd confirmed, but I don't care.
No, who gives
to be honest. I haven't liked SpongeBob since probably season 3. And if you told me he was gay in season 3, I would have probably went, yeah.
Yeah,
but I just want to
matter. It's a kid's show.
I just want to point out this makes him a gay contraceptive sponge.
Ew.
It's true. That's what he is. He's a contraceptive sponge.
Spooge.
Everything in Bikini Bottom is in the pants of a woman. It was supposed to be an adult cartoon. It was supposed to be on Adult Swim.
Yeah, sandy cheeks. There's lots of hidden jokes in there.
Patrick Star is an asshole. Literally. Mr. Krabs is pubic lice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean. Anyhow, yeah, so he's a gay sponge.
Nobody cares. Kids watch the show. They don't give a shit about who's dating. It's stupid.
That might actually be a better contraceptive. If you could make a gay sponge, it would probably like sperm more and capture all of it. I'm just saying.
I don't know why they have to push this shit on kids. Like, that's just indoctrination. There's nothing else it could be other than brainwashing.
Yeah. Well, Jack, I went to watch the PC Gamer has a game show once a year where they talk about all the new games and stuff coming out.
Okay.
And I had to turn it off because it opens with preaching Black Lives Matter.
Of course it does.
I was like, what? The fuck does this have to? We really support black people not being killed. I'm like, so do all of us.
Yeah.
So shut up.
Wendy's made a donation, I'm sure, and then their place got burned to the ground because they were snitches. So,
yeah, it's asinine.
Real quick, thank you, Mr. Scott. Here, I was going to give this to your bastard children you don't know about, but you know reasons. Here's the best non-producer. Thank you, Mr. Scott.
I did. Well, he is a producer. He produces content for this show. We just don't have a producer. We should get one of those. Now, when I say that, guys, I need to say this again because I've had several people again contact me and go, I'll do it for you. A couple of reasons I can't do that. One, I do not want somebody I can't pay, Jack, because that's not cool.
Yeah.
And I know there's people out there like, that's all right. No, if I was going to hire a producer, I would hire a producer. Two, there's no way to do it without me giving access to my channel. And by giving access to my channel, I don't mean just having them on here. I mean, basically giving them control of my channel. And there's very few people I would trust in that situation.
You should get one of your kids to do it. Like,
they're busy. They have lives.
No, you can destroy that pretty easily. Let's see. You can get the youngest kid. It's your son, I believe. Look, we'll get him to do it. And just all we have to do is get him evicted from wherever he's living. He's forcibly moved back home then. And then he could be your producer. And you could be like, look, I'll give you $10 and let you live here. I don't have children. I don't know how any of this works.
I don't think that would work. They're like grown adults now. This isn't like mow the lawn because you want money to go buy a new CD. Yeah, they're older, Jack.
Damn.
Yeah, my daughter is closer to 30 than she is to 20, man.
You're old.
I know. Luckily, I'm not that old because we started at 17, so I'm still young. That's not a good thing. Hey, start at 17 so your children will be out of the fucking house when you're still young. No, don't do that. Wait till you're 18 to have kids, people. Wait till you're 18. It's just better that way. Don't wait till you're like 30 though, man. We've discussed many of the reasons why, but
yeah,
in all seriousness, your chances of having a child at that age just go way down.
Yeah, and then the chances for the downsy kicks way up.
Yeah, so dudes, you can be older You can be older. I mean, you can be 70. Just if you're going to have kids at 70, bang a 20-year-old so that the baby comes out all fresh.
Has that new egg smell.
Adopt them. You could do that too, but no, I mean, you want your own seed up in there.
I think evolves onto something. You can adopt a Chinese one. You barely have to feed them.
You know, that's true. But you have to keep track of them.
Not really. Where's he going to go? You live in the middle of nowhere.
You can't chain them up. They're kids.
He's probably used to that. He probably brings his own shackles. He's like, yeah, I got these assembling iPhones.
Yeah, I guess if they can put together an iPhone, they could probably run a show.
Yeah, he probably has been working since he was like 6 or 8.
Excuse me.
He's probably got references too.
My mom and her husband adopted his 8-year-old granddaughter when she was 65. Wait, the granddaughter was 65? You can't adopt a 65-year-old, can you?
I don't think an 8-year-old adopted a 65-year-old, but that would be funny.
I'm so confused by that whole sentence. Okay, I get it. So the granddaughter was 8 years old, but they went ahead and adopted. I got you. It sounds like there was probably some bad stuff going on there. A friend of mine adopted 2 while we were stationed in Japan. Well, yeah, if you're over in Asian countries, you can just pick them up cheap. They're down at the Walmart.
Yeah, and Asian kids are super cute too.
Yeah, they are. Angelina Jolie, she just went on a world tour and picked up kids.
Yeah. Well,
it's like, give me a brown one and a darker brown one and a slightly lighter brown one. And give me that one over there that looks like it has Downs. Downs Asians are the cutest things on the planet.
That's because Asians make beautiful babies.
They're so cute. They kind of look like baby seals. James Conley, thank you. If white people adopt an Asian baby, will the baby still have cravings for domesticated animals? I don't think the food cravings are genetic. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
It's a legitimate question that you could probably address with the adoption agency, but I think if they don't, it's like dogs attacking people. If they don't have the taste for it, they won't crave it. I don't really know anything about how children work.
Hammond said, Jesus, monkey. What'd I do? What I just did?
I don't know.
You know, I really do. I forget the things I say. I'm not being facetious this time. I, honest to God, don't know what the hell I said.
Oh, he may have been saying that you're like Jesus.
I kind of am. I'm a turn the other cheek kind of guy.
Yeah,
that's not true.
If you can learn to do the water into wine trick, you'll be all set.
I used to say I loved hippies because they were so nice that if you punched them, they'd turn the other cheek so you could punch that one too.
Oh, it was the Asian tards. That's what he was talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say tard? No. Oh, they are. If you because I said they look like baby seals. They really do. They look like cartoon baby seals, and they're so goddamn cute.
Better keep them away from the Inuits then.
Monkey is crippled Jesus. Is it crippled Jesus? I'm definitely the crippled part of that. If I was Jesus, I'd heal myself. Just be like, be healed. Nah, it didn't happen. I didn't know Monk was Mexican. Oh, I'm not. I am white as shit. Charlize Theron picked up a dark one and made him a her. Oh, that's right. She did, didn't she? Remember when Charlize was hot?
Yeah, now she's all crazy.
If you go back and look, guys, you can find her Playmate spread. She was in Playboy once, from back when she was cute. And yeah, it's a good spread. So I wonder if this stream will get the hate speech flag. You know what? I'm about to lose my shit with Twitter, or sorry, with YouTube, because they keep hitting us for hate speech, Jack. And we haven't engaged in hate speech.
Because hate speech isn't real.
And well, even if it was, the shit that would count as it, we don't do.
No, we don't advocate for anything particularly stupid, as far as I know.
The Bob Potato, thank you. If you didn't want one that would run away, I'm sure the seller has some with their leg tendons cut. Wow.
Ouch. I mean, literally, ouch.
Yeah, no doubt. Hate speech is anything they decide on a whim. Well, that's true, but I mean, we're not hateful. And their rules, excuse me, allow for jokes. It's in the rules. And the worst thing we've ever done is make jokes. Fucking assholes. Hey, Poppy. Oh, Monkey Face, Willow's 19th birthday's coming up. 3rd or 4th, you will have to sing to her. Remind me, because you know me. You know me. I will forget, but yeah, remind me and I'll be happy to. Can't believe Willow's 19. That's Poppy's oldest daughter.
Yeah.
Jokes or hate speech? Well, you know, when they came out with those rules, like you can make jokes and stuff, but you can't use it was just a joke as an excuse for saying something. Like, I'm sorry, what? So
that makes no sense.
So jokes aren't okay. Oh, it's so asinine. So fucking asinine.
Well, they seem to have a difficult time understanding what jokes are.
I need to get on I need to find an open mic somewhere so I can go up on stage one time so I can say I am a stand-up comedian, then they'll leave me the fuck alone. Like, ha, I've done it, bitch. Although you don't have to be a stand-up comedian to be a comedian. There's lots of people who have been comedians who don't do stand-up.
Yeah.
Hang on. Oh, I gotta blow my nose. I almost did that on stream. 1 second, I'll be right back.
Yeah, they are humorless a lot of times, faithless. That's the problem with being an authoritarian, I think, is that you have to be humorless because anything that offends the party is verboten and can't be allowed to thrive. So you end up having to destroy a lot of humor.
Oh, she's saying it'll be the 3rd or 4th time I have sang to her. Yeah, I know I've done it at least twice. But yeah, just remind me on the date, sweetie. Absolutely happy to. How can you be a stand-up comedian when you can't stand up? I can stand up. I just fall down a lot. Tell Monk Andy Worski was a stand-up comic. I knew that.
Yeah. He talks about it a lot on his older streams.
I don't know how good he was at it. I've never seen one of his sets. You know who is a stand-up comedian? Fat Pat from Poisoning the Well. The guy on Poisoning the Well that everybody doesn't get mad at. Yeah, he's actually a stand-up comedian. He does shows pretty regularly, or at least he used to until Corona. Bearcock, thank you. All babies are cute besides Gingers. Something born without a soul just gives me the creeps. No, that is not true. When my daughter was born, there was a kid that was born the same time named Earl. And something went wrong with Earl. He wasn't a ginger. He had black hair. But I didn't get to see the parents. I never saw the parents. I just saw the baby. And I'm imagining the dad was Sloth from Goonies. This baby's eyes did not line up straight.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he had a tooth coming out of his jaw. That could have just been something they needed to clean off. That was an ugly baby. He was fucking ugly. Yeah, our friends came to see us in the hospital, and I told them about it, and they're like, you're just being mean. And the next time they came in, they're like, we saw Earl. I'm like, and? I'm like, yeah, you're right. He was fucking ugly. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, stop. It's going to sing happy birthday. Who's going to sing happy birthday? Angel will be 15. That's Poppy's youngest daughter. I'm old. You're not old. I'm old. Jesus Christ. How old am I now, Jack? What year is this?
I think it's 2020 still.
45. 45. I can always do the math because I was born in 75. Makes it real easy to do.
Yeah.
I just turned 20 a few days ago. My sister 15. I feel old as shit. Stop it.
Look, talk to me in 20 years.
If you were here, I would kick you in the ass. I'd fall down doing it, but it'd be worth it. 20. Oh, God, 20. What a time. Let's see, at 20, we had just had my second child. God, that's a long time ago. That was 25 years ago, Jack. Half a century. Can't believe I'm at a point in my life where I can say half a century, and that's in my lifetime.
I think that'd be quarter of a century.
Quarter century. Sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant to say, but I'm not smart. Quarter century. Yeah, quarter century ago. Gen Z has no right to feel old. You know, I saw the millennials are getting mad at Gen Z for talking shit about them.
Too bad.
And they're getting very upset by it. Very upset.
Oh, they're going to write a letter to their managers.
She would put out a tweet about it. She said, "When did we turn into the boomers?" And I stayed away from it, Jack. I really did. I wanted to say, "What do you mean turned into?"
They're worse than the boomers.
Yeah, I mean, you're the same. I'm 47. My daughter is 5. I feel friggin' old. Dude, you got pregnant at, not you, but you got somebody pregnant at 42?
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, I'll give you that. But 42, having it just starting out, that would scare the shit out of me. No offense, dude. Don't be scared. It's great. That would scare the shit out of me. I'd be like, no. You're going to be 62 when your daughter's 20. She's going to put you in a home. I was 40 when my son was born. Why? Why are you guys so old when you're having kids? I see. You know, when we had these riots going on and people were talking, you know, they use the phrasing, going to a riot is a young man's game. Having kids is a young man's game. They will wear your ass out. Here's what I recommend. Jog. A lot. Because they require a lot of exercise. You got to take them out to the child run and let them run around.
It's like a dog park, but for kids.
Yeah, but for kids. You just take them out there and let them run.
Put little numbers on them, then you can race them.
Yeah, and you need a shot collar in case they go into the woods, you know?
Yeah.
Stay in the open area.
Microchip them so you can find them if they wander off.
Captain Tripper says, "Oh, I just hope it's a nice home." Yeah. I have dreams of when I'm finally put into an old folks home, Jack.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't happen. I hope like sometime along the way I get really rich and we can just hire a wet nurse to come here.
Wet nurse?
You know, one with a big fat ass and no morals. This is Kyle. Thank you so much. He says, "Hello, chat people, Monkey and Mr. Jack." Hello, sir. How are you?
Hey, Kyle.
I'm just saying, man. If I ever have to, you know, have a nurse kind of thing, I just want her to have a big ass and no morals. That's all.
I think this would be a good time to announce your new fundraiser of hiring a slutty retirement nurse for Monkey. Because we are brought to them by them.
We're brought to you by you guys. If you're enjoying the show, please hit the like button. Please hit the share button. And please see a priest or a pastor and find Jesus. Because what's wrong with you guys? Don't forget, we are sponsored by you. Please also donate if you can. You don't have to. Never expected. Always appreciated. Throw money at Jack because he can't get the super chats, guys. You got to Streamlabs him. And thank you so much, Nuts, for dropping our Streamlabs links in the chat there. James Colley, thank you so much. Found out Blackened is whole different thing when the Christian Science Monitor is involved. Oh, no.
It's true.
What were you looking up? I still remind. That's one of my favorite stories ever. Is the guy, the priest who got online. He was a preacher. I don't know if he was a priest, but a preacher. got online for the first time to look, and he decided he was going to look up biblical things, so he looked up rapture. And he was shocked by what he found. Like, dude, you looked up rapture on the internet. If you found any biblical shit, I would be surprised. It wasn't blackened. I'm really confused. Never understood why women turn to religion considering what every holy text says about women. Well, I mean, if you're talking about like modern Christianity, no matter what the original text may have said, I mean, the worst it is now is you stay at home and raise the kids. Is the worst interpretation really here, especially here in the West, at least. You know what I mean? It's not like you're going to be beaten by your husband or something.
That's true.
Yeah. It's just a way to tighten up the old vaginal walls. Let them get a rest.
Yeah, keep them from whoring.
Yeah. Thank you, gamer. Millennials are now getting from boomers and Gen Z. The Gen Xers are sitting back like Emperor Palpatine. Good, my progeny, unleash your nihilism. There's a good portion of millennials that were not our spawn. They came from boomers too.
Yeah, it seems like a fairly even split.
Mm-hmm.
You had older parents, and then you had the people that started young. Because now the millennials are in their mid-20s, some of them. So,
yeah, look at how many people in chat. There were like 2 or 3 who said that they had kids in their 40s. Boomers did that too. Fuck, some of them. What was it? That one dude was 72 when he had his kid. Tony Randall.
Yeah.
Yeah, 72. Like, good luck with not having a father growing up, kid.
Yeah.
Don't worry, he was rich. You'll be fine.
Well, look, I mean, Trump's got a teenage son, and he's in his 70s.
Mm-hmm. How old is what's his name?
Barron?
Barron, that's it.
Yeah, I think he's like 14.
Yeah, he's young.
14. Yeah, because he was pretty young when they went into the White House. So I'm pretty sure he's a teenager.
Architect of Fate says, I'm one of the millennials who was born from boomers. See, not us. Barron is 15 this year. There you go.
Oh, yeah, he'll be driving soon. Real quick, thank you. This is Kyle. Here's some money. I don't have a sad story about how I got it, but in its place, I'll tell you the sad story I call my life. You're not sad, Kyle. You're just finding. You're not looking at the bright side. And thank you for the donation.
There is no bright side. The bright side's on the left.
The bright side is that you're not Steve Shives. You're not living in an autonomous collective.
I'd love to have kids, but I got the short end of the straw and have a fuck ton of mental issues. You can still have kids. Just, let somebody else raise them. Watch them from a window.
With permission.
I'm glad I had kids. I wonder about people who have them when they're older and how much thought. No offense to the people in there that are older. Like, I had trouble keeping up with my kids in my 30s, man. You need to stay in good shape because you're gonna have to be keeping up with them in your 50s. My best friend, this motherfucker found out that he was going to have a kid. Well, I think it was when he had just turned 32, and he was like, "Oh no," because they were done. They'd already had 2 kids that were growing up, and suddenly, like, we're having another one. It was very much like that moment in Married with Children when they had the pregnancy. And now starts ripping out his own hair. Like, how did this happen? Because he's like, well, the kids are going to be out of the house soon. Nope. Gamer Valine, thank you. I know Gen X raised Gen Z. Boomers raised millennials. I'm almost 32. My parents are boomers. Well, we raised millennials too. My children are all millennials. There's, like Jack said, there's a pretty even split on that. Eric Peters, thank you so much. Susan is going to 30% bright side. Susan just wants to see my penis, I'm sure.
Well, that's why you keep getting hit with hate. You're talking about other women.
You know what? That could be it. Did you? I know you had a rough time in school with like bullies and shit, but did you enjoy your childhood overall?
Overall, probably. I guess we were pretty poor, but I had a lot of cool toys, and my high school years really sucked balls. But overall, I'd say my childhood was fine. It's all about perspective. You know, you could grow up living in really destitute situations and still have a good childhood with happy memories. It's all about how you look at it and compare it to other people. I know people with way more fucked up lives that had way more money than me. So,
yeah, yeah, I know something like that too. One girl who had to be taken away from her parents because daddy was touching her.
oh, geez.
Yeah, she came from the rich side of town. Yeah. So I get what you're saying there. People who had far more problems than I did.
Yeah.
Being poor, I mean, you found ways to deal with it. It's not like you just sat there all day going, well, I'm poor.
Yeah, you didn't sit there just poking at the dirt going, well, nothing to do. You found ways to amuse yourself or, you know, go to the library and get some books out for free. You know.
And, and that's kind of what I was getting at earlier with, I wonder if these kids get to do this. Because even with video games, I mean, at least that's an escape, That's an escape from the world around us that we don't have to sit there and just focus on shit like Atlanta being burned to the ground right now. Which, by the way to know your history. Go ahead and burn that fucker all the way down.
Fucking idiots.
Fucking moron. We hate the Confederacy. We're going to do what they did.
Yeah.
Shouldn't fire be illegal there because of Confederacy and all that?
Yeah, plus all the race riots they've had in the past. Real quick, thank you, formerly Rodline. I can't afford to pay our mortgage, but Monkey told me to give you money. Thanks. Thanks for the future nightmare, too.
And you should always listen to Monkey. It's escape until Antifa gets there, until Anita gets their hands on him. Well, I don't know how much my children knew about Gamergate as it was going on and stuff. I mean, they were a little older for that, but any other controversy going on, it's not like we sat down and watched the 6 o'clock news as a family. I know people who do that. They're like, yes, we watch the news with our children. Every night we turn on the 6 o'clock news. Like, how much do your children hate you?
Right? Well, some of that is the influence more than anything else. Like, look at all the changes that have been made in video games in the last 10 years and how much the social justice influence has had because of people like Anita Sarkeesian.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the desexualization, if you could call it that, more like the stop making pretty girls mentality. That's really infected it. And it's ruining fun for people.
Did you ever have to use detergent paint? It was a paint powder they used to mix with clothing detergent and water. No.
No, I've never heard.
The hell? Is that some weird Canada thing, Jen? Poor man's paint to paint pet rocks with. No, we were poor, but we didn't have just rocks to play with.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I never played with rocks, but it was amazing how Mom like, put that rock down. Yes, ma'am.
I had a little rock collection when I was a kid, but yeah, I mean, we had Star Wars toys and Masters of the Universe, a handful of G.I. Joes, but those were expensive compared to Star Wars figures.
See, ours weren't. G.I. Joe was the cheap one. I mean, Star Wars figures, I don't know how much more expensive they were, but yeah, that's why we got our G.I. Joes, is because you could get the G.I. Joe action figure. As long as you weren't getting a set, it was just a couple of dollars.
Yeah, the only store that around us that had G.I. Joes, they were like $2.99.
Mm-hmm.
But the Star Wars figures were $1.29. And I remember that because there's a price tag on one of the old backer boards, because we kept all those to hang them up as little mini posters on our wall.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have some in a box that I found in the attic. So, but they were $1.29 for at least through Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, I don't remember how much toys were back then. We just got toys. Thank you, Frank. A cop worker just brought up gay SpongeBob and pointed out he crushes on Sandy. That's true. He does. In the first season, especially.
Yeah, there's always been some sort of underlying sexual tension between SpongeBob and Sandy. So I don't know why they're retconning him.
Oh, you know why they're doing it.
Oh, yeah, pandering. That's what I'm talking about. They're changing the culture by pandering. Soon he'll have a black friend. Watch.
Oh, no. No, Jack. Soon he'll be black.
Oh, well, yeah. Maybe his soul is black.
He'll be Monkey Check Streamlabs. Sorry about that. I did not get any notice for anything.
Thank you, James Kelly, for the donation with no message. And thank you, ex-Bubba Hotep. I was going proudly give this to Satsu, but I remembered I don't have pride. Oh, thanks, ex-Bubba.
Architect of Fate, thank you so much. I want kids, but I can't find a woman who's not a feminist in my area. I just want a normal family with a stay-at-home wife to raise the kids. All I can find are women in their late 30s who think men want money and not a decent woman. It's awful out here. Oof. Move to the Midwest. Granted, you'll probably have to settle for a Kansas cow, but that's all right. Kansas women need love too.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. Is feminism has really ruined the dating pool. Because even in our age group, like when I would go out to like singles mixers and stuff like that, it was like crazy chicks that wanted to have a kid, and like the baby crazy types, and then a bunch of angry, bitter feminists and bitter, angry divorced women.
Stargazer Nut says, that's it, unsubbed. Hey, come on. Don't be like that.
Well, you did kind of target her on that one.
I did not. I said women from Kansas.
She's from Kansas. You know that.
She doesn't live there.
No, that's true.
I'm talking about the ones that live there. They all ballooned up after she left.
Well, that's a possibility. They were jealous, and they were eating out of jealousy. James did apparently have a message, but I'm sorry, man, it didn't come through. So,
well, he just said that he's being censored over there.
It won't surprise me. They did that to Pete a few weeks ago. I don't know what that's all about, but a couple people have said that now. So I'm sorry, man.
And for the record, I like Midwest girls. I also like California girls and East Coast girls, and I just like women across the U.S., man. They're all wonderful. Although I did marry a California girl, so
I'm gonna get me one of those beautiful conservative Asian chicks.
You can do that too, architect. Find yourself a nice Asian. Don't get it. Look, I'm not trying to be mean here, but if for what you're saying, don't get an American wife. Eddie Murphy was talking about this back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And it's only gotten worse. That's all right. Look, I'm not saying it's bad. You women go out there, you be as sad and unhappy and unloved as you can be with your jobs. American men, buy yourself a wife from overseas.
Yeah, absolutely. Asian women are really cool like that. Like Filipinos are very hardworking. You might have to get one with a kid. Not a huge deal if you're okay with that. But she'll have 2 jobs by the end of the week, most likely, upon arrival. She'll be like, all right, I want a job, and I'm going to take care of the kids. They can do it all. They're very hardworking people. Same with Taiwanese and Filipino, Thai, and Taiwanese. They're very hardworking women, and a lot of them are really hot.
Architect of Fate says, Stargazer Nuts, if you're here, you're probably rational. Nuts gets irrational sometimes. She's very mad. I'm not suggesting that it's because of anything to do with being a woman, but it tends to come every month or so.
Jeez. I don't think that's Stargazer. I think you are a fine, upstanding, lovely lady.
Nuts is wonderful, and we love her here.
And
Oof.
make a joke.
Who said oof? Don't oof. Anyhow. Russian wives will divorce you. Now, the benefit of a Russian wife, if there's anybody that you need killed, they probably have the ability to do that. Same with a Jewish wife. They have training. Just throwing that out there.
That's true. Yeah, I've heard some real horror stories about Russian brides, but there are some decent Russian chicks out there because there's a big alcoholism problem in Russia.
Yeah,
they tend to smack their women around.
You got to be careful with the Russian women because they tend to come with with British teeth.
Yeah.
Pete, thank you so much. He says, I love American women and American accents. Oh, we have some great accents here as long as you don't go north of Delaware. North of Delaware, you start getting accents. And you're like, what the fuck happened here? You got your Boston, your Jersey, your Brooklyn. Like, geez. Thank you, James Colley. Always look on the bright side of life, unless you're me. I cooked for a date tonight. She changed her mind at the last minute. Now I have enough for 4 people. Why do I try? Because pussy is wonderful.
You try because you have hope. And although I'm a cynical person, I hope to find the right one. It's hard, man. Especially because nowadays people have very little consideration for your time. And that's very, very disturbing trend, especially among American women. They don't take anything you do as an act of kindness or a good faith effort. It's always got to have an ulterior motive because that's what feminism indoctrinates them with. And it's hard for them to kind of get away from that programming because it's everywhere. They're programmed to not like men. So you try because you want to find that right one that will appreciate what you're doing.
And that says Monk knows I'm not really mad. He does piss me off sometimes, though. That's true, and I can tell when I actually piss her off. Architect of Fate, thank you so much. He says, from my military experience, non-American wives will bounce out after they get citizenship. Just because it's relevant, Stargazer, if you're under 30, say hi. Are you trying to hit on Stargazer through a super chat?
Well, teach your own.
Oh, this is how you do it. That's how you doing, baby. That's how you do it. You get all creepy up in the microphone. Speaking of that, I saw Blondie. She said, I'm just going to stand over here in disguise. We're not bashing all women tonight. We're not bashing women.
No, I think there's a lot of fair statements you can make that are just cultural observations that what you're looking for, you may not be able to find locally. So you have to outsource that.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. I want somebody that's not insane, so I'm going to go to Asia and roll the dice over there because I got better odds. It's like playing slot machines. Sometimes the machine is rigged against you.
You got to be careful what slot you put your machine in.
Exactly. Sometimes it's not worth putting your nickel in the slot, if you know what I'm saying.
It would be a fun story to tell your kids. How did you two meet? We were in Ranting Monkey Super Chats. Look, I'm happy to bring people together. We've had couples that have come together because of our chats. We've met here. It's cool. That was Hot Monk. LOL, not under 30. Well, I do what I can. Jack, you're talking about the indoctrination that women just can't get away from. And I do think that's getting worse.
Yeah.
Because there was a time when feminism was about choice, when it's about you can choose to stay at home or you can choose to go get a career. And now it's actually turning more and more and more to you better not stay at home.
Yeah. Now it's about man haters who don't want you to be happy around men at all because they're bitter, jaded, and lonely.
And let's be honest here. In chat, have you ever been happy when you're with the opposite sex? I mean, seriously. The happiest I get is when I'm with my wife. You know, excluding hanging out with kids and grandkids, that kind of stuff, because that doesn't count. But, you know, on an interpersonal relationship kind of thing, it's with my wife. I love hanging out with my friends. I enjoy talking with you, Jack. But I like just hanging out with my wife.
Well, your wife is supposed to be like your best friend. You know, they're your partner in life. Literally, the Robin to your Batman, but with sex.
Yeah.
So
wait. Well, never mind. Nicholas Daly, thank you. I'd like to date a black girl who is conservative. Life provides challenges. Isn't there like a dating site for that?
I think there is. And there are a lot of black conservatives out there. You'd be surprised.
Hmm?
So just don't give up on the dream. You know, some dreams are worth keeping, and don't lower your standards because you're just going to compromise it. Pete makes a really good point. Australian women, there are some really hot Australian women, and I've seen some smoking hot Asians in Australia with that sexy accent. So,
Miss Sugar Tits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Holy damn! When I first saw her, I was like, "Good pull, homie." Bearing, good pull, my friend. If you're listening, Gamer Vleen, thank you. You have the women millennials that are bigger nihilists than the battling gens. Also, most of my friends are guys. I hate catty bullshit with most womans. I can see that. I can understand that. I prefer to be around women, though, to be honest. Monkey, you bigot. There's no such thing as biological sex. Shut up. Go sit in the corner.
That's why we get hit for hate speech, because we talk about women when there's actually no genders.
Look, there's problems with men, too. There's a lot of lazy guys out there right now. A lot of fucking lazy guys. Look, I love video games, and I'm lucky enough right now to be able to play video games as part of my job, Jack.
Yeah.
But that was something that came up as an accident. When I was still, you know, normal, I had a job. I went out there and did things. If you want women to pay attention to you, don't come there being a dumpy child yourself. Like these fucking
right now.
What's that?
I feel very judged.
I'm judging you right now. No, I'm judging those kids in Seattle right now.
Yeah.
You're fucking children. Stop being children. Step up and be a man. Sometimes you have obligations and you need to start. You know, I've said before, Jack, women have fucked everything up, but I blame men. Be men. Stop being children. They're fucking children, Jack. So many of them.
Well, it's partly generational, but they don't know how to be men anymore because they've taken that away. Look at all their role models now. You don't have like masculine men that say step up and do the right thing. You don't have action heroes anymore, largely. You have a bunch of whiny soy bitches. And that's what they see as role models. I mean, look, the man bun is a thing.
Yeah.
And the pajama boy from the ad a few years ago, that's what they see as masculine now.
Skinny jeans.
Yeah, skinny jeans, hipster douchebags, and all this other nonsense. They're not masculine because they're told not to be masculine. There are still masculine men out there, but you don't see them portrayed in media very often.
I think the popularity of people like Jordan Peterson, I think men are so desperate to be men. And they want advice. They want somebody to tell them how to be men. And
yeah, they need that guidance. And so few of them have male role models in their lives.
George says, I'm divorced with 3 kids, haven't gone on a single date in the last 3.5 years because I actively choose video games over women. I'm clearly making the correct choice. Now, look, if that is your choice, and I'm being deadly serious here, and you may have been joking, I'm not sure, but if that is your choice, that's cool. But if you're a guy who's sitting around with your guy friends, go, man, why can't I get a date? As all you hear is click, 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 click at the fucking sticks of your controller are banging together, maybe there's an answer. Gamer Vleen, thank you. Nope, it's women's studies major type women. And Eric, thank you. Girl soccer money.
I think the feminized men thing, it does really. There's multiple levels how that hurts society, because it makes men weaker. It inspires other men to be weaker, and a lot of women will go after them because they're easier to manipulate and control. And I think Midnight might be onto something with a lot of them have some money because they tend to be like more nerdy types. So they tend to go after the money, and that way that they can control those men, spend their money, and they know the guys aren't going to say anything. Where if you go after a more masculine guy, he's going to be like, no, we're not doing that. You're not going to go on a shopping spree with my credit cards every week.
And Blondie and Chad said this is why the Proud Boys was created. Yeah, unfortunately, they were deemed a racist group. You know, I mentioned this before. The only Proud Boy I know, and I know one personally, is Yosef.
Yeah,
who's a black Jew. That's true. He is a black Jew. But this group, they're just anti-Semites and alt-right haters. Like, y'all see him, right? This is a man who Antifa doxed and got fired from his fucking job because he was a Proud Boy. You know, because they like the blacks and the Jews so much. Real quick, over on the Streamlabs. Thank you, Architect of Fate. Just to touch on the bikers going to Seattle, it was all an internet meme. The other side of that is there were so many people asking about the ride, Sonny had to publicly announce it was not happening. The internet almost caused a national Hell's Angels ride. I'll come back to that in a second. Nicholas Daly, thank you. Guidance from men with alimony and child support payments. Feminizing men is legally encouraged. It absolutely is. Yeah. But to the biker thing, we were asked about that on the show the other night, and I said, as far as I can find, it's not happening. The picture that was going around at the start of all of this was obviously from a country overseas because the bikers were on the wrong side of the fucking road.
But it was a believable lie because you could see something like that happening.
But why? There would have to be a reason for them to want to go there.
Well, I wouldn't say the bikers for Trump thing would be believable, but Hell's Angels types, they like to fight.
And yes, Nuts, Yosef has been on the show a couple of times. I should talk to him, get him back on sometime. I love talking to him. He's a good guy. But getting back to feminizing men, you're right. Feminizing men is legally encouraged. It's not just legally encouraged. We had the Psychiatric Association of America, wasn't that, or was it the American Psychiatric Association, whatever it was, come out and basically say men are defective, talking about toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
James Colley, thank you. I would love to hear a black man sing the Torah. I think it's done with some soul into it. I don't know. You could have to ask Yosef. He's funny as shit too, man. And he made me jealous one time, Jack, because he'd been hanging out with Milo. I would love to hang out with Milo.
I bet Milo's a lot of fun to hang out with. He seems like he's got a real good sense of humor.
He really does. And I'll take a sense of humor over pretty much anything else. Where are we at here? It's mandated by the current school curriculum. It is. We are turning boys into girls. Because the people in charge, you know what, Jack, this is why I blame psychology so much. That American psychiatric thing that came out. It is largely influenced by women.
Yeah. Well, women go into that field quite a bit, into psychology and psychiatry, because first of all, they're kind of nosy, but they also like that kind of like manipulative power, because it's usually those type of women that go into that field, or they're heavily damaged people that want to self-analyze and think they can help other people. Because I've dated shrinks, they're fucking crazy.
I have a problem with psychology in general, and it's usually that. And let me be clear here: there's psychology that's great, stuff that actually helps broken people. But then there's pop psychology, and this is where I blame women, because they're the ones who buy all of the psychology books. They fucking love this shit. How to make him a better you or whatever.
Yeah, and if you need somebody to talk to, an objective non-friend or family member, yeah, it's great. And you can find there's some really good people out there that want to help others, and they're normal, rational people. And then you got the pop psychology people and the ones that write all the self-help books and all the wacky shit. That's how people end up sticking beeswax in their vaginas and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's those kind of crazy people. No.
You get, and it's not just women who write the books. You get a lot of men who write them knowing that women are their audience.
Yeah.
And it's all about how horrible we are. Somebody asked, where was that at? Thoughts on Milo today. I forget where it was. It's Dangerous Spaces. Says he seems to have bought into his own hype a bit too much. I haven't seen Milo in a while.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a few years.
I saw him probably last year sometime. He was making a comeback. He was doing a show on YouTube. He'd gone and hung out with Alex Jones for a day. That was actually a pretty good interview that he did with him. I think Milo got screwed.
Yeah.
And I think right now he's just desperate to get any attention back. And he didn't get screwed by the left, you guys. The left isn't the one that brought him down. It was the right, because there were people on the right jealous of his attention. And so they destroyed this man over him being molested as a child. How fucked up is that?
Yeah, right? Well, it happened to Corey Feldman, too. So
Right. James Colley, thank you. Bad idea, Monk. What if your hair is a bottom? You leave my hair alone. What it wants to do with Milo is none of your business.
That's fucked up. Thank you, Pete, for the donation with no message. Sorry if there was a message, it probably got deleted. But thank you very much, man. It's nice of you.
Midnight Nexus Isle says Milo blew way too much money on coke and kitsch art. I don't know how to say that word, and is now broke as fuck. Milo did spend way too much money. Milo was making a shit ton of money, and unfortunately, he thought he was one of those people who thought it would last forever. He wasted money. That's true.
It happens to a lot of people that are celebrities.
Yeah. Especially when you blow up like he did, because he had been, I mean, a name, but it wasn't until he started doing his college tours that people started throwing money at him left and right.
Yeah.
The throne was over the top. I agree with what Milo said there, and he still says this, at least last I knew. You respond with outrage, with outrageousness. That's why he did things like that. That's why he went in the one time dressed as a cop. That one was great. I love Milo. I think Milo is what conservatives need.
You got to remember, he's still pretty young. He's in his mid-30s.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still got time for a comeback.
Did I see the ramen noodle guy? Yes, I did, Nuts. And like 40 people sent that thing to me. And I was annoyed by him. Did you see him, Jack?
No, I don't think so.
He's listening. It's a TikTok video, and it starts with him listening to Chris Cuomo asking where it says protests have to be peaceful. And he's eating dry ramen. And then on the screen behind him, he pops up the First Amendment. He goes, there in the First Amendment. The same fucking thing I've already done to Chris Cuomo. I was a little bit annoyed. I was like, my tweet didn't go viral. Son of a bitch. Guess I should have ate dry ramen when I was doing it. Milo's doing content on Censored TV with Gavin McGinnis. He also has his own channel still. Like I said, I still like Milo. I think he's a very smart guy.
Yeah. If he toned it down a bit, I think he would be a lot more accepted by the mainstream. But
yeah,
the flamboyancy is part of his shtick. But I think he would be a lot more popular if he kind of dialed it down from 11 to like a 7.
He upset a lot of conservatives. The conservatives are the one who took him out.
Yeah.
He got announced as a speaker at CPAC, and they're like, oh, hell no. And so they brought up a 2-year-old stream that had been out there forever and pretended that they just found it. Like it was some archaeological dig they did. And they'd be like, oh my God. Oh, stop your fucking fake outrage, you phony pieces of shit. I like Milo far more than the Groypers. You and me both, Faithless. I still like Milo. We had a stream right after that happened because I kind of had the exact same experience that Milo had, except for mine was with a female. I lost my virginity at 14 to a woman who was 19. With Milo, I believe it was a little bit older, it was like 23 with that priest that was with him. And I do not feel like I was taken advantage of. I understand his thinking there. I think he's wrong, and I think I'm wrong. Isn't that weird? I think I'm wrong. But there's a reason for it, because I was 14 at the time, horny as hell. So a 19-year-old woman let me put it in her. I had no problem with it.
Yeah, of course.
But this is why we put that onus on the adults, not the children, because yes, at 14, boys are horny as hell. So I understand what he was saying and all of that. And I think most people understand that. And I think a lot of people were full of shit. Like, oh my God, I can't believe Milo said, oh my God, shut up. Now, the only one I did have a little problem with is him talking about being at Hollywood parties and seeing people with young men. And I believe his exact term was boys, is that he said. But I just use the term girls when I said I like California girls and Midwest girls. I don't like girls. I like women. But that's understood.
It's just a term you use to describe people of like 18 to 35 or 40. You know, it's not necessarily talking about underage minors. You're just using the term kind of generically.
And that's what he explained, and I'm willing to take his word at that. If he saw anything illegal, I would hope he'd come forward. But, you know, why are you flexing your white privilege in grade school? What white privilege? What are you talking about? I'm just a wonderful man. There's no place in America for gays. You can go to Africa where they love the gays. Wow, Kevin. What you got against the gays? I have gay hair, I want you to know. You need to be careful. My hair's not going anywhere. It likes America. Yeah. Don't hate on the gays. Gay people I love that you can call them the gays. And that's perfectly acceptable. It sounds so insulting, the gays.
It sounds like somebody's giving you the evil eye.
Right? Yeah, but fuck, I don't care. As long as they're only fucking adults, I don't give a shit. The problem with coming forward is if you can't back up the accusation, you can be sued. Indeed. Well, look at Corey Feldman. This is somebody who's a victim of it. A victim of it. And their response was, so?
Yeah. Corey Feldman really got screwed. And then he never has acted since, it seems. I'm sure he's got minor roles, but
he's done like B movies at best. I don't buy an excuse for this 19-year-old chick. I wasn't making an excuse for her. She was wrong. Absolutely. But I also know I was definitely the aggressor.
Well, and when you're at that age, you're not thinking like a rational person. You're thinking like a teenager, and they aren't fully cooked yet.
I was thinking with my dick.
Yeah, exactly. You have very primal hormones that you listen to, and not your greater senses.
Since I was just trying to think of one. Well, if you're trying to think of one, she was an awkward girl who was never really popular in high school, and suddenly she was getting attention. But that doesn't excuse it. She should have been out there with people her own age, or at least closer to her own age. If I was 17, that'd be different. I was 14, Jack. Yeah, I was a mature 14, but mature 14 isn't saying much. That's still 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin's just trying to be edgy. He's fine. Very true. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's situations that happen, and this is why when we see it, we have this idea that boys are always the aggressor, except for in Milo's case, or unless it's a gay thing. It's weird. We, as a society, and I know not everybody here, and I'm not saying you specifically if you're listening, but as a society, that's why when a girl teacher gets in trouble, sort of, oh, well, I mean, good for him. Good for him. We don't even have rape laws for boys unless they take it in the butt from somebody. It's only if the adult had a penis that suddenly it's rape and everybody's upset by it. Go ahead.
That's kind of the thing with the feminization of men, though, because it's just assumed you're defective and aggressive and all these awful things.
Look, if Milo was straight and came out and said that at 14 he'd had sex with a 23-year-old woman, everybody would be like, go Milo. But since he had sex with a man, everybody's like, oh man. And you don't think there's a problem with that? And I do think he was wrong with that. And he's come out and since and said that. I understand what everybody's saying. But if you're in that situation and you are aggressively pursuing it yourself, you don't see it as a problem because you're a fucking dumb kid.
Yeah.
And you grow up with that same thought. You never take the time to sit and you're just thinking, man, I was so cool. I'm cool, you guys. I lost my virginity at 14 to an older lady. And society's kind of okay with that thinking.
It seems that way.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Milo gets screwed for basically the same thing. I mean, it's fucked up. And Milo's a smart guy. And when I said Milo's what conservatives need, he really is. Milo was one of your best warriors in the meme wars, which are still going on, which you desperately need right now. Milo did say even in that very thing that he knew later on it was wrong and it wasn't right. Yeah, I mean, but he talks about in the moment and oh my God. To quote the South Park episode, nice. Exactly. She's banging a student. Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's fucked up. Nah, Milo sucks. What sucks about Milo specifically? You stop it. Milo was the ultimate go ahead and try to call me a Nazi. He's got, doesn't he, does Milo have Jewish blood? I can't remember. I know he's Catholic.
I think he was like half Jewish or something. Yeah,
I want to say he had the Jew blood. He's Catholic. He's married to a black man. Bring a charge at him. Bring a charge at him. What are you going to throw at him? He hates Jews? Really? He doesn't like blacks? Come on, you're missing it. When you're not around, he's riding one. What I mean, he's a homophobe? Come on. Every card they threw at him, man, he's like, bring it again. He converted to Jewish, says Frank. Thank you so much for the donation. Milo was Milo's Jewish, hence the last. Oh yeah, Yiannopoulos. Duh. Milo isn't really Jewish. He played that up to deflect accusation. How do you mean not really Jewish?
Maybe not like religiously Jewish, but like genetically. I don't know.
Well, they count that as Jewish. I mean, what are you gonna say? He hates his mom?
Well, there's a certain guy from the 40s that hated his grandparents' lineage.
Fair enough. B Junkie's answer was Milo was flamboyant, and that's about it. If that's all you took from Milo, you didn't pay attention to him. Milo's speeches and especially Milo's comments. When Ben Shapiro got a lot of his fame from his responses to critics when they were in the audience. Milo was as good or better than Ben when he was answering people. He really was. He was great at it. I need a lady monkey in my life. You know what? Everybody does. She's a sweetheart. Oh. Jack, we made it 2 hours with no real subject.
Oh.
That's the joy of this show. I probably could have done it without you, but it's a lot easier and more fun when you're here.
I hope so. Otherwise, you'll stop inviting me. Then I'll have to like get a life or something. I like coming in here and hanging out because it's a lot better than finding a job.
I would never wish that upon you. Frank, thank you so much. I love Milo's anti-identity politics speech. Yeah. Milo gave some great speeches, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I still watch him from time to time. I go back and watch a lot of that old stuff from people. I still like to watch Ben's shutdowns of people. I still love to watch Milo's speeches. I'm not a big fan of Ben's speeches just because of his speech style. He's not quite nasally, but he's almost nasally. It's like there's a booger forming. It's just starting to, it's growing, but it hasn't quite got there yet. Just like him, it hasn't grown up yet. So I don't watch those, but I do watch his response videos, or where he's responding to somebody from the audience.
Have you ever seen him run? Because he's almost a midget.
No, but I'd watch. If his little arms go out to the side, I would die. I would just plain die, because I don't think I've ever seen a Jewish midget.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I've seen all kinds of midgets. I have a collection in my brain. Anyway, thank you, James Colley. I hope we at least get 50 for that project, Jack. For what project? What project are you working on?
I don't know.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up here before we get in any more trouble. Thank you so very much for listening to us tonight. Thank you for coming and hanging out. Thank you for the donations. We really, really do appreciate it. Jack, is there anything you'd like to show?
I'll throw a link to a video in the chat. Thank you guys for the donations. You guys are amazing. It really helps out quite a bit.
Don't forget, down below there are links to mine and Jack's Streamlabs and Twitter's and my channels and Jack's 100 channels. So follow us everywhere, guys. After this, I'm going to see if my satellite is working. Usually it doesn't start working until 2 in the morning. I'm past my allowed usage this month, Jack.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, I have 100 gigs that I can use free anytime. And once I go past that, they put me, I'm using air quotes, behind other users, and it just goes down to shit. But usually about 2 o'clock in the morning, apparently everybody goes to sleep at the same time, and it's free again, and I get speeds up to like 99 megabytes, which is awesome. But I'm going to try and see if I can stream. If not, keep an eye on Twitter, guys, and as soon as I can, as soon as it clears up, I will be playing some more Fallout 4, because I've been busy in the tunnels, guys. Busy in the tunnels, and you guys are missing it, unfortunately. Thank you guys for watching. Jack, thank you for hanging out. Everybody, we'll see you next time. Have a good night.
Bye.
My dick is long and pretty.